Alright, so this is the second stream of this. I spent 15 minutes, 50 minutes working on this previously, like less than an hour ago. And then I had to take a break. But anyways, for this problem where you're trying to find two numbers that are adding to a given n value, but don't include two positive numbers that add up to given n value, but don't include 0 within their digits. So it was a lot trickier than a lot of the other easy and even medium problems, I think, to get a direct way of getting those two values. In particular because like a lot of times when you're trying to find these like special values that add up to something or whatever, you actually use something that has zeros in them. So trying to avoid all zeros within everything is difficult, given that I took 50 minutes just to come up with a non-solution last time. Anyways, I eventually thought of basically the edge cases boiled down to like getting too close to 0 on the subtraction of that digit. So I ended up thinking, well, how can I totally avoid that? Which is, instead of working around 1s and 2s, I went, if the digit is a 5 or 6, I'm going to create a value that has a 2 in that spot. Create one of the two values that sum up to that spot to be a 2, or like, so it'd be either 2 or 3 or 2 or 4. You would have like very little chance of having to deal with zeros in any sort of carry situation as well. And then if for any other digits, I'm going to create a value that is a 5 in that spot. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. I would basically subtract 5 from that, and there's really no way, or again, any carry issue from subtracting a 5 in that spot is never going to hit a 0. And so creating a array of digits from the value of n, basically converting n to string, which is an array of characters, and for every character converting that to integer, a digit integer. That's my digit array. And then ignoring the first digit, because the first digit's it's always a non-zero, and yeah, you basically don't need to mess with it. I'm creating value 1, where value 1 is value 1 will be subtracted from n such that answer equals value 1 and n minus value 1. And then going over the digits of that n number. If the digit is a 5 or 6, I'm going to subtract 2 from that digit. If the digit is any other digit, then I'm going to subtract 5 from that digit, and then create this value 1 through the normal composition of a for loop that multiplies that value times 10, so it basically bumps up the digits to the next order and then adds a new digit. And then obviously n is value 2 is n minus value 1, return value 1, comma value 2. And that pretty much works for all the weird test cases that I failed at. And assuming that most people used for loops, or not for loops, but just a kind of constant way of doing this, it's the same kind of speed. So anyways, the summary here, I don't know. Summary, found a direct formula that could create a value that has no zeros, such that n minus value also has no zeros. Formula will subtract from n a number where 5 corresponds, or where digit 2 corresponds to any 5 or 6 digit in n, and subtract a digit five from any other digit. So for example, let's say n is 3, 3, 6, 1, 4. Ignoring the first digit in n, this would be value 1 will have 6 would subtract 2, 1 would subtract 5, 4 would subtract 5. 2 corresponds to 6, 5 corresponds to 1 and 4. So thus return 255 and 3614 minus 255, which is equivalent to 3615 minus 255. Oh boy. Subtract 2 when there's a 5 or 6, and subtract a 5 for everything else. 255. Oh boy, does this actually not work in that test case? Two five five 3359 3614. Oh my god. 3359. Okay, yeah. So it does work. Alright, time complexity, this can be O of 1 since even though there is a for loop, it iterates over the digits of n, and as n has at most, I think, 5 digits, it basically will only do at most 5 loops. Thus, it's O5, which is equal to, I mean, not really thus. Basic complexity, this is going to be O1. The digits array that is constructed from n, from the digits of n, is basically also constant space cost. Most 5 digits. That's based on the n being 2 to 10 to the 4th. Alright.